Adam and Wack, and we back. And my man is wearing some kind of lion garb.
You don't like my shit?
Hey, when you're going to visit your distributors for Incredible Diapers in the Congo, I feel like
this how it was
is going to help you fit in.
Colombia.
You look like you're going to Burning Man or Coachella or something.
You know what I'm saying?
Very cool. Very cool.
And guess what? Listen.
Your woman is in here showing a little extra skin today, too. Jesus
no, I mean, that's what it is.
It's getting hot.
Mine is fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, it is what it is. But we over there in Cali, Colombia, and I'm doing my little doodling. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking
This spoke to you.
I'm looking, yeah.
You saw it, you're like, that's it.
It was calling my name.
That's me.
It was calling my name.
I feel it.
And I was like, I'm doing some doodling. I'm like, she like, I need to go back and get some things. I'm like, what you mean? You got enough shit. It's cool. She like, I need to shop for Adam. I said, what Adam? She said, my brother Adam. I said, no, he looks at your ass. That's your brother.
In that way, we are not very brotherly or sisterly, yeah.
But nevertheless, she said, I need to go shop for Adam and Lena. So first I was like, said, you know what? That's my boy. You can do that. That's why when you asked me that question, would you let her? Hell no. But for my brother, baby, you may want to bring him the gifts. I think it's appropriate to bring him his gifts because I'm sporting my, I got my little shit on.
Oh, well, if I end up with anything half that cool, then I'm going to be on cloud nine.
Look, she looked out for you.
And it is Lena's birthday this weekend, too.
Oh, she got something for Lena, too. Is that Lena's gift?
Thank you so much.
You give him that one last.
All right. Oh,
You know what I'm saying? Yes. Yeah, so I'm like, hold on.
Yeah.
Why you gonna get this punk white boy this is my swag.
Guess what happened?
What?
Listen.
You slept in.
Oh my God.
Now you're speaking my language.
Oh my God. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Listen.
The lion and the wolf.
I was mad. I was hating because I picked this out for you. She doubles back and gets you one.
Should I keep the hood up? I should put the hood down. I'm throwing the hood up currently. Okay.
Hold on, wait now. The camera gotta. Now this supposed to be for Lena.
Okay. Perfect.
I hope you don't. This.
Okay, Adam. So
Turn.
Sure.
Gotta turn so the camera can see. There you go. Like, he want to see that ass anyway. Turn.
Okay, so Adam, this is for you.
Okay.
I know you're like in the streets. I've been seeing you in the New York streets,
and,
in these LA streets and all that, and I need you to stay strapped at all times, right?
You got me a gun. Wow.
I need you to stay strapped
at
all times. Now, the thing about this gun is it's always cocked. Okay?
Okay.
Here you are.
So excited. Oh, it feels like a pistola. Okay.
It's always cocked.
It's beautiful. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
See how this will do.
Yeah. Well, you gonna pull it out on Lena tonight?
Yeah. Oh, what about this?
Oh.
Some people like to bust this move out. Or even once you pull it out.
Yo, listen, man.
You even hit it from the
That's
side.
one thing about it. It ain't nothing like having fun with it, man.
Bust this move. Good move. Wow.
Oh,
amazing.
shit.
I don't know. Do you have to censor this? and hey, if the podcast doesn't go too good, just hit the ejecto switch button and boom, I'm out of here.
Yo,
no more
man.
pod, no more nothing.
Yo, man.
Wow, this
Adam
is
22 of the Wack 100 show, man. Only on No Jump.
I wonder if I have to censor this for YouTube. I honestly have no idea. Wow, I'm not gonna lie. This is very hot.
Yo, listen.
Wearing this is very hot. I'm gonna. Yeah. Okay. But I'm definitely. This is gonna be so sick. My kid is gonna be hyped on this. Thank you so much.
The other day, R&B called me.
Wow.
And she had some stuff in the car. And I was kind of asleep, and I'm like, man, shit. So I look up. I'm looking for some sweats to put on. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't find no sweats, so I threw on my briefs, my shoes, no socks, and my thing, and I walked outside.
What? Oh, I'm thinking of it like a pen. Maybe like you kind of like chew on the pen.
yo, listen. R&B, he will never forget you for this. God,
Never. I don't know though. Is this in the same category as like a sex toy?
Yeah, I guess.
Like from a YouTube standard, I don't know. I hate to be like the guy who immediately starts thinking about that, but
Uh-oh. You telling our little secret.
Thank you guys so much. Now I gotta figure out something to get you guys next time I go somewhere.
Oh shit. Man, listen, one thing about it, we was having so much fun, and I will say this, as a friend, when you think about people, that's when you know the time you spent with a person.
You're connected.
On some real shit. This is real.
I have my
real.
phone. I don't know actually what happened. I might have lost it in all the hubbub.
Oh shit, come on, call Adam's phone.
Wait, no. Where the hell would it have gone? Where could I? Oh, I just left it on my seat. I'm retarded. Okay, sorry. Let's get back into the groove here. Okay, so Colombia. Wait,
Cali, Colombia.
But you were fresh out of there last time I saw you too.
Yeah,
but
Cali,
you just
Colombia.
didn't bring the gifts last time.
Yeah, I didn't bring because she wanted to bring them.
Oh, right, that makes sense.
She wanted to bring them.
Wow, thank you guys so much.
And no way I was presenting that gift.
Some would
No
say
way.
that you did. That this was basically like you presented it to me.
No way I would present that gift.
I don't think we have to censor this, honestly. It's just like slightly shaped like a penis. Doesn't mean it actually is a penis. Anyway, wow, I'm so blown away. Thank you guys so much.
Man.
I was in New York over the weekend.
I seen that.
Going crazy out there.
Yeah, man, you gotta chill out.
All kinds of different.
He was out there with my guy. What's his name? Bobby Schmurder.
Bobby Schmurder.
I just was talking about.
Didn't ask him about you and his
you should have.
zesty controversy.
No, you should have asked.
I didn't want to make it about you.
No, man, we just had a conference call for like an hour.
When? Before I was there or after?
Before, like 2 weeks, like 2-3 weeks ago.
What were you guys talking about?
Business.
Really?
Yeah.
What are you guys going to do together?
I'm trying to work something out, do something with him.
I hate you put the zesty allegations on him.
No, we
He's a
talked
good
about
man. He doesn't
we
deserve
talked
that.
about it, and what did he do? He agreed and laughed.
He does move around kind of crazy. Like he's just like, he takes like huge steps. He's like laughing his ass off at 1 second. He's just such a huge personality.
Well, he understood why I said what I said.
Okay.
Because remember, he said, I learned how to dance like this in prison. And I'm like, whoa. Your type of dance is, I understand your culture, that's for women. You ain't supposed to learn how to dance like that in prison. When I said, he started laughing.
I mean, you don't think of people doing a lot of sensual dancing
In prison.
in prison. Yeah, it's kind of.
But knowing his crazy ass, see how you saying he was walking? Bobby Schmurder was probably really running around the yard just burnt out.
Right, he doesn't give a shit.
We got to remember, think about his first viral moment. You remember it?
The hat being thrown up in the air.
No, well, the one I remember is when he went to meet the label. He jumped up on the goddamn conference table
Classic
and went
move.
crazy.
That's what you got to do. You got to dance for these crackers if you want to get signed.
And that
What's going on, guys?
just so y'all know, R&B brought him his gift.
Yeah, just so you know, I'm strapped up. You better watch out. You better watch out. I'm gonna use this on you. Pause. Okay.
He just ran all the street niggas out the room.
They fled.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna bring this to my next music video.
yeah, but no, I seen you. We like 3 weeks ago, and you know what? I got to get back on that because I got to put together something for him. What we gonna do for him?
Okay.
But we talk. No, we on good terms.
I mean, some people were saying, and he made it sound like it was kind of normal for him to be out in this environment, but some people were definitely saying that this was the first time that he had been out and about in Brooklyn on the street in quite a while. So
That's good.
It's
He
very
shouldn't
rare content right there, I think.
She shouldn't be.
Well, I mean, I feel like from his perspective, this is probably not what he wants to be doing every day, but he was moving around very appropriately. Definitely.
I mean, you know, he got a team out there. He's respected out there. So,
yeah.
But I seen you. So what was you doing? A video? A song?
So while I was out there, I did a nice lengthy Mano interview, which did ask him about you. Kind of laughed it off. Didn't choose to be.
He know I got him. He admits it.
Got him.
I got him.
What?
I kind of like. He admitted it to Vlad. He like, yo, dude's good. He got me out of my character to a point where he was in control of the conversation. And looking back at it, he like, dude was like really had me out of my skin.
Okay.
So, you know.
We didn't get too deep into it, but okay, I did Mano interview. Then we went to the Patterson Projects in the Bronx with King Pill and Shay Davis, Bompton G. etc. Shot the remix to King Pill's Slide First song out there with what appeared to be, maybe like 100 Bloods. So that was fun. I've never seen anybody film anything in those projects, so that was kind of rare.
They called me a couple weeks ago.
Yeah?
But I didn't have no convo for him.
Wait, what do you mean?
Yeah, I didn't appreciate what he said about Blueface.
What did he say about?
He said some weird shit on Cam Capone.
Something that he didn't like about Blueface.
Yeah, he said something, he ran into him in jail and, made some comments about his appearance that I felt was disrespectful, especially to me. That's my client, that's my little nephew. It's like my little brother.
But you were pushing the G-Uno thing before.
That's my point. See, this is what I mean about these dudes don't understand politics. It's like, you can't do certain things. It's like you could have interviewed and just said I ran into Blueface.
Mm.
It ain't like you ran into him and you did something to him and ran him, but oh man, he jumped off the bed, he had bad skin, he had this, he had that. It's like, I didn't get it, I didn't understand it, especially when a whole lot of politicking on here was going on. I was kind of like, I defended him, but to each his own. So I'm gonna let him do his thing and shit. You know how that go. When you burn a bridge, the bridge is burned.
Really? Damn. So he's out of the Wack 100.
I mean, I can't,
circle.
at the end of the day, I gotta holler at my client and see how you feel about that.
Okay.
Because, I did that out of love and respect. Where you from and Lil Jon, him and Lil Jon neighborhood's been getting into it for decades, but we still did that. So my thing is that I don't think people understand this world ain't ran on right or wrong, it's ran on politics. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, if somebody's tied to you, and I know they tied to you, right? I know I got to deal with that a certain way. It ain't even about them. It's like, you're going to be like, yo, Wack, that's my guy. You know what I'm saying? Wack, he fucking works at No Jumper, right? Mm-hmm. So I get you checking the situation, but out of respect to me, him, you should have dealt with it or maybe not dealt with it. You know what I mean?
It was kind of crazy to be in the projects in the Bronx with Bompton G-Uno, which I never expected to be a thing.
Yeah.
He's fresh off the plane. He literally flies to us and then boom, we're in the Bronx. He's never been in New York. I don't know how many places he's been outside of LA, but not someone I ever knew that I was going to be doing such things with, but it was pretty exciting to see the world from his eyes.
I was wilding.
Hit a J3 came out.
Did he? Oh,
yeah.
So,
so
good look.
We're doing a whole lot of blood stuff. I'm in the car. We're talking about blood stuff. And one thing that came about that I thought was kind of interesting is that, so on the Slide First song, King Pill is dissing all his Pomona ops. Now,
Trey 5'7" and all that.
There are dudes out there that the derogatory term for them is trucks. Another derogatory term, tramps. Basically, words that are also used to disparage gangs out here.
Yeah, that
but they mean very different things here and there, I guess. So there was a lot of conversations about maybe some of the disses would be muted in the actual song. I don't know.
You can't.
A lot of stuff.
Well, if you in their area, I mean, they don't want motherfuckers disrespecting them in their area. I don't know. I know what those things mean out here. But even King Pill, I know him as a different individual.
You knew him before he mastered the internet.
I knew him when he was trying to, when he's first making his attempts. I never met him personally, but he paid me to work his stuff on my page.
Very nice guy. Very cool dude. I like King Pill a lot.
He was a total different guy.
Oh, yeah? He's coming out here in a couple of weeks. Would you like to have him on this podcast? I think that we should probably do that.
Who?
King Pill. You and King Pill.
Nah, I don't know him.
Why?
I got to sit back, see what's going on.
But he bangs the P like yourself.
Nah, well, that ain't. Here goes the thing. When he, I don't know what he bang. I can't say where he from, where he ain't from.
He is from 456 Island Pyro.
Call it 45 Bigs.
Oh.
I did a lot of time. Shout out to Don Don. Did a lot of time with them dudes in prison. Some solid homies over there. They the last neighborhood of LA County.
They are, huh? Because I was thinking that's so far away to LA County.
It's LA County.
Okay.
So you got Pomona on that side. You got Long Beach down below, because next is Orange County. After them is San Bernardino County. And then it goes way up to like Lancaster and shit.
And they're the only non-Crip hood, or like the only Pyru hood
the
out
only
there.
Don moves in Pomona.
Yeah.
You got Trey 5-7. They got a lot of Hispanic, some serious Hispanic game out there. The Pomona 12th Street Sharks.
That's why they call him the Island Pyrus. I was just obviously on like watching some
but
information.
I don't know him. I don't know him. I really ain't. I don't know him. Something going on with him in 600. I don't know what that. Maybe some trolling.
600 wants to fight him.
Does he?
Basically, because King Pill, we're trying to set up a boxing match with him and 4 Extra.
Nah, that's too quick. That's too quick.
Why?
Clout chasing.
Why?
Because that's what he doing.
You think it's too quick for King Pill? He hasn't earned it yet?
Yeah, all of them dudes, I'm going to keep it real. All of them dudes, when 4 Extra, when you set 4 Extras down here, and 4 Extra started to do his jail shit, right? When you look up, all of them started to follow the 4 Extra train.
I would say there's a lot of other influences as well, but 4 Extra has been a big influence. I feel like FYBJ Main was a big thing. Crip Mac was a big thing. In terms of like showing dudes how to
No. We talking about
turn it up and get attention on the internet.
No. We're talking about 4 Extras came out and dominated us with the jail fight stories.
Okay, yeah.
King Pill started doing the same shit after what he was talking
Aaron
about.
the Plumber starts doing the same
He
thing.
started talking about squabbling in jail and whatever. I don't know to what extent. I just heard a few things. And the reason is, the thing about it, the difference between him and 4 Extras to me is, when I met 4 Extras, he was what he was. When my first introduction to King Pill was somebody totally different. You know what I'm saying?
So you feel like he's playing a character?
I definitely think he's playing a character. I'm not saying that he ain't from where he's from, but I know it's some character in there because the first person he was a different character. And I probably wouldn't have really paid it any attention until I went back and seen that he deleted his whole page of that character. Because if that was just what he was, because he was always into his music. But he used to like...
But he said he's only been rapping for 6 months.
No,
he could be exaggerating, but...
He contacted my woman. She got the shit.
Oh.
Right? I ain't no denying nothing.
Okay.
He paid us to push it up. I didn't know he was a Damu from Paru. He know where I'm from. He never like said that, but that's cool. Maybe he was just doing his marketing and promoting. But he was a different guy with that, and maybe he was just promoting his. It was about his music, but he was a different guy. But I just felt like, for me, going through what I've been through the last 6 months. You let these dudes in, let them in to get too close to you too fast, based on this or that. Then you look up and it bites you in the ass.
Yeah, it's kind of the basis of my entire business. So just give these dudes like opportunities, and then whatever happens, happens. And I've definitely seen the negative side of that.
Yeah, but I bet you this. You ain't seen me do that. That's not what
Look what you did with Loose Cannon.
What I do with Lucy, I knew that was what it was.
You discovered a random psychopath. You took him under your wing. You brought him on a whole shitload of podcasts. You built him up from basically nobody to somebody who was very well known.
And what did he do?
And then at a certain point, you turned your back on him / he turned his back on you.
I turned my back on him?
Well, it's kind of debatable about who exactly moves first.
He thought he was like they all think you've been through this.
They think they're bigger than the program.
And then they figure like they don't need you, and then they could... Right, then they realized that the light only hit you because you was on the side of me.
Yeah, I still have never really had a host who really like became bigger than me or the platform itself after leaving.
Yeah, no, exactly.
And
it's probably not gonna never happen.
Like I know Brandon Schaub is a comedian who has like a similar type of thing at a certain point where he was bringing in all these different hosts and stuff, and like one of them was Theo Vaughn. Theo Vaughn leaves, becomes one of the biggest comedians in the world.
Yeah.
That would be both a good feeling in the sense of like, look, I can actually blow somebody up, and a bad feeling because you helped to blow them up, and then they go on to become ridiculously successful. And you're
shout
not
out to King Pill. I gotta watch it a little bit, see what it really is, and really what it's about. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I haven't called over there and asked none of the homies.
Because part of King Pill's thing is that he knows that commitment to the bit is important. So he's out in New York and he's wearing the all camo outfit with the red bandana everywhere, multiple days in a row. And then finally on the last day, he comes through and he's wearing like a Prada fit or some shit. And I'm like, oh, okay. I've hung out with you long enough that you've actually given up on wearing the same outfit every day, which I honestly think is pretty smart in terms of building an image in people's minds.
Yeah, like I will say this, from where he came from, what he was trying to do, I guess maybe it wasn't working for him. I guess he just said, shit, I could tell them stories too. And I guess he jumped in that lane and, hey, it's working for him. You know, continue to do what you do. No disrespect, but I gotta really like get a feel for people that I'm sitting with now, especially because I know once we sit with them, I know what it's going to do for them. And really, you know, it's kind of like these days you look up and find yourself and you can identify with this empowering and building your own op.
Yep. Done that many times. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So, it's been a whole lot of scandals going on in the building.
Yeah, some scandals, namely the suspect scandal.
Yeah, y'all line nephew up.
So I was on the road in the group chat when we said Adam's not going to be here on Tuesday. Who are we going to have on the Tuesday show? Lush says I can get Brandon and Suspect to sit down together.
Lush denied that.
Lush is a liar.
Lush said,
definitely that was his first.
Lush said Josh did it. Did I not call Lush R&B? I said, hey, bro, I'm here. Why'd you do that? You knew what that was. He said, it wasn't me. It was Josh. I swear to God.
I mean, I guess there's some percentage chance that I could just be forgetting, but I'm pretty sure that was Lush's idea before anybody else.
Yeah, I was like, but see, I got to put it on Suspect because you know where you at with that. He shouldn't have did it. Then somebody was telling me he didn't know till he got there. I said, nah, I seen the flyer.
No. He knew. He might have only found out that day because he saw the flyer on Instagram with him tagging it. Because that's the thing. Bad timing, but he got another number. So I guess Josh had been texting a few days beforehand being like, yo, so you're good. This is all good. We were smart enough to have security there. Who knows what would have happened if there wasn't security there? Maybe Aunt Hefe would have had to leap into action.
Ant wasn't for the leap into shit.
Ant
gonna mind his business.
But that was the funny. I mean,
Munchie B was hilarious.
Munchie B jumped up.
I screen recorded.
You didn't even see it. The security camera, his feet. He hops up onto the chair like.
Baby, did I not screen record it? We laughed about that. I said, listen, y'all can say what y'all want about Munchie B, goddammit. I don't know if he felt emotion around him, but he knew to get out the way and say them Pumas.
Yeah.
He got
out. That's probably what he was thinking about. Yeah.
Like listen, I seen him in the corner, he got out. You know, Ant was gonna make sure he was straight anyway, but I feel like some situations, I can look at something and I can see what's going on. Right? And when you got somebody in the building who has their mind set on proving a point and moving people out the way, that's a dangerous person. He's dangerous towards the people in the building, and he's dangerous for the building because you can look up and 3-4 people did something to where they didn't move themselves out the way, and now it's hurting the building. He think it's doing something for him. Yeah, I got this. You see, I got this. And I really think he on that type of mission. This is why I told you and I told Lush, told all of them, hey, listen, dude doing his thing and all that, he's on some other shit and he's playing a dangerous game because he's playing, I'm going to play it my way, but yet when you start playing it your way, other people will play it their way, but then at the drop of a dime, you go to civilian. Look, you got a knife, you got it. Like, bro, like even you would tell yourself, we could have done without you screaming that.
But all you can do
if the security is there and he handling it, you ain't got to scream that.
But okay, you're saying that he basically was a huge asshole to Suspect to the point where he was basically baiting him to flashing out.
He was baiting because mentally he knew Suspect couldn't handle. His mind is geared towards, I don't care what you say to me.
Well, but he has that confidence because he's a fucking black belt.
Yeah, we don't give a fuck about that. That black belt don't mean shit. Get your ass blacked out.
Well, in a physical confrontation, it means a lot.
Shit don't mean nothing.
You don't think it means anything?
It means nothing.
So you think that
I guarantee you
could fight, like, okay, if we cloned you and the clone was a jiu-jitsu black belt, you think that you and the clone would be evenly matched? I think you're very confused about how this works.
This is what you don't understand. I bet if that security wouldn't have been in here, I guarantee you would have saw what it would have did. See, look, this ain't no fair to fighting, right? Nephew know what he dealing with, and he gonna come prepared to deal with it, right? So what dude got to understand is that in his world, yes, you can call the police, and yes, you can make a police report, but see, all that usually happens after it happened. So he needs to factor in, do I play this game to a point to I'll push an individual to playing their game? Because yes, you can do all that if you're alive to do it, right? Dude might still take his hit, but now he got to think about like, yo, do you think it's healthy and wise to play the game you're playing and push an individual the way you pushing them and not understand where this could go? Even with you, I pushed you, but I know by reading your posture, I know by reading your eyes when to get off the gas. Because we're potting, right? I know it. I know, Wack, if you keep pushing what you can, this shit's gonna blow up. So you gotta have that type of camaraderie, especially everybody in that news is supposed to be together, bro. If they gonna have their little clashes or whatever, you supposed to know when to get off the gas.
Okay, but
he's looking at people in there like they're the enemy.
I've seen Brandon debate with Suspect, myself, the racist dude, I Hypocrite.
I watched it last night.
Lush, a few different people. And it's like the energy that ended up transpiring with Almighty was just a completely different level, because if you've ever argued with Almighty, you know that he is one of the most aggressive, confrontational arguers on the face of the planet. So ultimately, I think Brandon ended up trying to kind of match that energy. I don't think Brandon typically in a fight like calls somebody a over and over, but he felt like, at a certain point, the conversation got ratcheted up in terms of intensity to the point where that felt
This
fair.
is when I knew he was baiting him. Brandon not a stupid dude. He's book smart. He knows what he knows, right? He's not a dumb dude. Where he knew he was baiting him, I don't think y'all caught it. He kept taking nephew back to the alley.
Yeah, that's a technique.
He kept doing it. He kept doing it. And in our world, right, at that point in time, you got triggers.
Oh, yeah.
I know your triggers. Right? So if you look up, right, and I'm intentionally hitting your trigger.
Right.
Every 5 minutes, every 3 minutes, 4 minutes hitting your trigger, wouldn't you think like, yo, this motherfucker really trying to start something with me? Now, you and Suspect is two different dudes, two different mentalities. The reason why I know Suspect when he used to be a real asshole idiot running around the streets, right? So, I get he high strong, but, I give him some blame for it because he should have opted out of that. Period, like this your place of work. So if you know mentally you're not ready to deal with that because it didn't got a little too personal, then you shouldn't just sit at the table with that.
Right.
Or just leave or refrain from even engaging in a one-on-one.
But he was in a little bit of a weird position because he wakes up that day, sees the flyer with him and Brandon in it, and in his words, he would have felt like a bitch, and he felt like he would have looked like a bitch to the audience if he just didn't show up. Which
he gotta
the audience probably would have rolled with that.
Now he has to listen, it's a saying I use. I'll lose 10 battles to win the war. I'd have rather lost that battle with a no-show and still been in position to show. Because now we can't even show. I'd have lost that one to continue showing up.
But to be fair, Suspect could have done everything that he did throughout that entire episode. It was just that end, the spitting and the pulling out of a weapon. That was the moment where it went over the
First of all, here it goes. Brandon, at some point, hey, listen, bro, stop calling out youngsters like you don't understand our jungle. Don't call out no youngsters who are $150, $130, and you run around this motherfucker 280, 260.
Well, to be fair, Brandon got challenged to a fight by Sus early on. So the idea
Got
of that,
challenged the last one.
but that's what I'm saying. Like the idea that they would have any kind of physical confrontation was Suspect's idea originally.
Listen, dude, listen. I don't
And
know
he
where
at
dude
that
from.
time he thought that Brandon was a regular fat guy and not
know-
a buff fat guy, and he didn't know about the black belt thing.
What I do know is this. Dude hangs around with the viral way, right? I ain't met those brothers, but
I'm bringing them on.
but
The viral way.
I know that
You are invited to the Adam and Wack show.
I know that they I've seen them with P Nice.
Yep.
Okay, so
Long
I say
Beach,
that
baby.
to say this. And them brothers probably gonna have a conversation with dude. If they got love for dude, they gonna have a conversation with dude.
I think they've been doing that a little
Hey,
bit.
bro,
you know.
know when and with who to do what with. Because you will get your ass smoked playing. They know this. Them youngsters right there, them brothers right there, hearing them talk, they're very intelligent. I like to hear them speak. I like their show. But dude is on a mission, but he's not understanding he has to kind of like navigate that a little different. Because when you playing with these youngsters, they ain't taking no losses like that. Why you think Anhefe laid back? You know what I'm saying? He laid back because he know at the end of the day, youngster already know what it is. When you jump your 260, 70-pound ass up on one of these youngsters, best believe they already plotting to lay your ass down. Now, he got to know this, so when you coming up here with some short shorts, a tight shirt, and you thinking it's going to be a verbal thing, in these streets, in this jungle we come from, words that get you smoked. A look, a stare get you popped. So he has to understand that. He should have understood, being the elder. I know this dude a youngster. I know them viral Ray Caston told him, like, yo, bro, you're a long way from home out there. Nigga, like, certain things you can't say or do because it's going to turn into that. So I think Almighty should have opted out of it. I don't even think he should have been invited to it, period. You know, he was trick bagged and he put himself in a trick bag. The camera's on, y'all shit is live. It ain't like they know you can go edit something out. It's pressure up in there. You know what I'm saying? You slip, say the wrong thing, it's what it is.
It has occurred to me that in my line of work, my mentality about violence on the podcast is this is absolutely not allowed. This is over the top. This is way outside the realm of what we can allow. But you go watch Zeus, they're beating the shit out of each other every 5 seconds.
That's a fact.
Maybe we should change the rules on the podcast to enable more violence.
Hey, listen, maybe
I'm probably not going to do that,
maybe
but
you
it
should
is a
create
possibility.
or maintain a good balance when you're dealing with your people.
I mean, personally, I thought that they would be able to get on camera and that, violence was going to occur.
What made you think that?
Well, last time they were on camera, there wasn't any violence. They just yelled at each other, right? And
Is that the time they tried to go fight?
And we got security to make sure. Well, they didn't actually fight, but we got security to make sure that they wouldn't be able to fight.
That's the last time, right?
Suspect was very clever because he unleashed a projectile.
A what?
He spit.
Yeah. Listen.
Hadouken.
Listen. Listen, let me ask you something.
Sure.
Brandon went and did his research. Do you think he mentioned that alley situation and didn't know it was going to trigger dude?
To be fair, I feel like Suspect was saying everything that he could have possibly said to trigger Brandon as well.
This is why I fault Suspect for he should have removed himself. He shouldn't even came. Listen, somewhere in there, them dudes going to get at it. They don't know how to get at it and have a conversation. Right? When we ran me, you, Vlad, our guy, Trap Lord, and Remo.
And Vlad, yeah.
What did I do before I got on Trap Lord?
Told me, hey, I'm about to get on Trap Lord.
You know why I did that? Because I wanted you to know that this is only going to go so far.
I know, and I kind of wish that I had stood up for Trap Lore more, because in my head it's like, okay, Wack is like running a play, but then when you actually watch it, it doesn't feel like you're running a play because you actually were mad at him about something that he said on the podcast. So I kind of wish that I had dived in there a little bit more.
Thing. No, I was really a little bothered.
Yeah.
But I just didn't start it. I made sure I alerted you so you wouldn't be sitting there uneasy. See, the minute I alert you, I'm letting you know I'm aware of what I'm doing.
You neutralized me because you didn't want me diving in there and making it a 3-on-1 or whatever.
Been, I mean, listen, 3-on-1, y'all white boys. That's an even fade.
That's not an insult.
That's an even fade.
We come from a very strong
now, I will
legendary
tell you this,
legacy.
Brandon did a great job.
He's related to Prince Charles.
With the
no, okay.
With the white dude.
Brandon did a good job with I Hypocrite, right?
Yeah, whatever he was, but the hypocrite dude, in his defense, was kind of laughing because he said what I always tell our people: stop going back 200 years. He kept saying he like hit him, but okay, listen, I hear you,
right?
And everything Brandon was saying was, when Brandon kept saying we threw you an alley-oop, I was waiting for the dude to hit him with it. Hey, listen, brother, it ain't no business unless business is established. Once you establish business and blueprint it, and we know what we need, then we went and got what we needed, which was you guys, right? And dude was kind of laughing at him because the reality of what he was talking about is real. We ain't got to kill y'all. Y'all gonna kill y'all. Right? It was real. But Brandon knew his stuff when it comes to his history and all that. But today that shit don't even make a difference because the reality is that we kind of like, we're our own worst enemy. Yeah,
I mean, that debate was weird because they agree on so much shit. There's not really that much besides the racism thing that ultimately kind of got in the way of them. But I mean, like Brandon, okay, this is the thing. They both think that Black people, as it stands in America, have a lot of issues, let's just say. The only disagreement is that I Hypocrite thinks that this is like innate, that this is genetically programmed into Black people, whereas Brandon thinks this is the result of history and all these different things that have happened.
What Brandon was trying to say is, if you give an individual opportunity, you're going to get a different individual. If you place an individual in a middle class area or upper class area and give him the opportunities, that's a different individual. You put that individual, white, Black, Hispanic, or whatever you want to say, in a low class community where they're forced to survive and deal with all these other things, you're going to get a different individual. Our trailer park communities, you don't hear a lot about them, but it's a lot goes on, and a lot of them are dominated by Caucasian people, right? A lot of shit goes on, right?
Do you ever get into the YouTube nook of watching different videos about, like, you know, white gangs that sell meth down south?
No, it's a whole lot.
You watch that for an hour or two, and you'll be convinced, like, white people are just as fucked up if placed into these environments.
Yeah, it's a lot goes on. So I get where Brandon's coming from, and I got where dude was coming from. But, you know, moving along with it, I feel like you was a little extreme, and we really need to talk about that.
Oh, really? What do you think?
I believe that, no jumper, because I'm hearing Josh scheduled that shit and called, and Josh is you when you ain't here.
You're talking about Josh scheduling the Almighty and Brandon
I feel like, we got to look out for each other and know what not to do. Like, come on, like, bro, you did this shit with Brick Baby.
What?
However you had it scheduled, you made sure we never cross paths.
True.
Right? Okay, so if we know we got a situation going on with nephew, and the last thing they was finna fight, I really believe y'all was looking at it like it's content. I don't think y'all understood the seriousness. I understood Brandon went and did his homework. This dude was kind of saying all kind of things about me. I don't know nothing about him. Let me find some dirt. And listen, I don't doubt him for that. So what I think you a little too harsh is why we can't give him a suspension.
Really, because this was not the first time, I think, was the main thing that made me feel like
What you mean not the first time?
Well, the Kelpie situation was pretty extreme.
The what?
When he beat up Kelpie, Almighty.
You beat him up where?
You don't remember this? It was like the most viral clip in the history.
How long ago was that?
2 years.
Okay, what the fuck are we talking about, bro? Well, okay, within the 2 years, when everybody left the building, did he follow the bandwagon?
No.
Okay, well, let's give him some credit. So let's take the Kelpie situation.
And I do appreciate that for sure.
Hold on, let's take the Kelpie situation. And when everybody left, Almighty didn't follow the bandwagon, and let's call that a wash. So he starts with a clean slate. I ain't saying don't give him, no punishment, but I'm saying like don't just get rid of nephew like that. Or give him a 2 week, 30 days or something. But
my issue is that
I ain't saying look, this your build. I'm just telling you, nephew didn't, he shows up, he does his thing. He's a character. People look forward to seeing him because of how he acts. But don't just get rid of him like that.
You never know what's going to happen in the future. It's not like it would be impossible. But from my perspective, dealing with lawsuits basically makes it so that running this business is completely fucking pointless, in the sense that a lawsuit that cost me 50 grand immediately just like erases so much time that we spend on stream, because streaming does not really make that much money. So from my perspective, anyone who introduces behavior that ultimately seems like it's rising to the occasion that a lawsuit could result from it, to me, it's like, this is something that we have to get away with.
How about this? That's cool. Well, how about we pay attention to the lawsuiters? Because it been some shit that went on and everybody ain't screaming sue. So maybe we get away from them people that's them type of people. Well, maybe they don't fit. Maybe they don't fit
but that's
our
the thing.
environment.
They don't sue until they leave.
No, but what I'm saying, maybe they don't fit our environment. You talking that shit, you saying certain shit, you disrespecting niggas the way you doing it, and then when they go there, you want to scream lawsuit.
But who do you see as the potentially litigious type?
He was the one, Brandon.
You think Brandon is a sewer?
He's the one screaming it. Like we didn't all been in
he screamed about the knife?
We was all in some shit, right? Been in some type of situation, and it's just we deal with it how we deal with it, And I ain't even saying get rid of dude, but I'm saying if we gon' listen, I'm totally against terminating him without giving him a suspension. Like, bro, motherfucking Lush punk ass nigga had 50 gang members. Talking about f you, f me, all kind of weird shit.
And definitely, if Lush were to f up massively again, that would have been instructive about it. Like, you f up multiple times. Maybe we need to take a step back from working with you.
You gave him a week suspension. I ain't saying give Almighty a week suspension, maybe 2 weeks. But I'm saying don't give this dude who had it that could have turned into something. And I woke up and got included in it. You got included in it. He got a week suspension. Great. I'm glad that happened for Lush. I'm just saying, I think indefinite without a return date right now, and he's been loyal, is a little extreme. That's all. I ain't telling you how to run your building. This is just your brother. I'm saying I believe it's a little extreme. And all the training that is winning him from here, I'd rather see that talent stay in his building than force him to go try to find a check and it ends up in another building.
Well, he's on a hater world tonight.
I mean, that's cool, but even on his thing last night.
Maybe he'll be their black guy. No, they don't have a black guy.
No, even his thing last night, I'm glad that he's not going into a hole or thinking nothing crazy. He at least is working his name, right? Bring our guy back to our building, bro.
How is this your guy all of a sudden? You never showed him any love prior to this.
Always.
When?
Always, bro.
I was not privy to this.
Oh, you know how long I've been knowing this dude?
No.
Since he was going at Blueface about stealing his style. You know what I did?
Still doing that.
You know what I did when he did that?
What?
Brought him to the concert and let him go on stage with Blueface.
When was that?
At the Novo.
That doesn't seem like it's really worked out long term because they still hate each other.
No, it was cool. They ain't never had no problem. Whatever he say. But
Blueface was kind of like sending his guys to look around here to try to find Almighty at one point when they were doing an episode.
Nah, because he
tweeted about him. Blueface had a tweet where he basically called Suspect like the lamest dude from LA or some shit. But he changed it to AS because he basically like didn't want to give him any more clout than he had to. Which I was a little surprised.
What I'm saying is like, I just think indefinite is a little extreme.
Oh, yeah. It's an extreme business, and I used to take part in extreme sports. So, extreme is really kind of my nature.
So, it's no way possible we can just give him a suspension?
At this point, I think I'm ready to at least take a step back, at least for a while. I'll say that. Is that who knows what the future could hold? At this time, I think I'm...
Bro, I looked up, you had the Mexican dude who violated 50 ways back on the show. What we talking about, bro?
That's what I'm saying. There is a place for forgiveness within this building.
You let Lush...
Copa Raider was banned permanently and eventually wormed his way back in.
Yeah, but he went running his mouth saying all kind of shit. Mm-hmm. Nephew ain't did none of that.
This is pro wrestling. I think it's important for you to remember that.
Huh?
This is pro wrestling.
No, I don't know what that is. That's you and Brick Baby, WWE.
No, that's gay porn. But it's pro wrestling in the sense that any conflict, could it change as time goes by? Yeah, of course it could change. Who knows?
Yeah, but why have him up under the gun where it's just
the gun?
No return. I mean, damn, bro. Like, hey, listen.
I mean, I guess technically I didn't say that there was no return.
That's what I'm saying. Well, why we said it, you said it time for Lush. I went to bat for Lush. This ain't nothing new.
Right, with the Travis Ford situation?
I definitely did. His ass was out of here. I called you on that. I said, look, bro, I think he was just, he dealing with a dude who ain't rational. He's saying things because I believe he got caught up in that, wanting to be cool with some gang members. I think he learned his lesson. Yeah. Don't get rid of him indefinitely.
That definitely happened.
Whatever you choose to do, you do as your building. I'm just saying, like, God damn, man. Because it'll bother me if I look up and something happened with nephew.
What do you mean?
Just what I'm saying. This is part of his program. Yeah, this part of his program, believe it or not. It's part of his program.
So what do you think he's going to go do?
He got a void. Now he got a void. He got to open space. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying no punish him, but damn, at least give him something to look forward. Tell him, like, look, you out 2 weeks, 30 days. Come back. If you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. But damn, don't just like...
Honestly, it probably would have been that if it wasn't for the Kelpie thing. It's just, to me, it was like, even though they were a couple years apart,
bro, your man,
it just felt a little too extreme.
To give him some credit for staying down when everybody else probably wanted him to leave, bro.
Believe it or not, I did.
You got to phase that out. You know what I'm saying? So that's a wash. Kelpie ain't there, and now at this point, you can't. That's gone. You staying loyal and staying is gone. Right? This situation, I want to get you up out of here, but you know what? I'm talking to Wack. I'm thinking about it. That does mean something. Look, you gone for a month, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I don't know. But I just feel like, the indefinite thing, and when you're not given a date of return, it's indefinite. In your mind, I don't want to look up in the hours of, 8 and 12 when he would have been here. We look on social media and something happened.
For the record, if anything happens to him during the hours that he would normally be here, I don't really feel like that is our responsibility.
No, what I'm saying is, I understand it because I used to be his age. This is his and today, to even have a program like that means something. It keeps you out, it keeps you away, and it keeps you in position to meet other people to possibly do other things with.
True.
Maybe I'm speaking as a big homie. Maybe I'm speaking as a big brother. Maybe I'm speaking as a father. I'm just saying, think about it. You ain't got to make your decision now. Okay. Think about it. Maybe we can just kind of like do something a little less.
Who knows what the future may hold.
He come back on a probational period.
I was saying a straitjacket.
I mean, shit, that too, whatever. Just
or a phone booth. We install a phone booth so he can lash out at the glass and sort of like gnash his teeth at the glass.
That would be kind of cool. That would be cool. Listen, right? We put this phone booth in here for you. When you feel like you want to go crazy, go in the phone booth. Hey, listen, that's a good gimmick.
No, he's got to be in it the whole time.
That's good gimmick, man. Shit. You know what I'm saying?
The idea of him being that out of control is pretty funny.
Hey, yo, content is content.
So the suspect thing, I feel like the fans probably, they've heard us talk about this a lot. This might be kind of boring. Anyway, Sharp. He went on live stream.
Here with a blow up dog.
Crashed out and basically admitted to a lot of the things that Damn Homie, as well as his other ex-girlfriend, Hope, had put on his name.
Oh.
The sex doll.
Did she put that on his? She came to the 100th floor the other day.
But the weird thing about it, I don't think that damn homie saw the sex doll herself. She was told about it by this other girl, Hope, who actually OG Suicide interviewed her at one
that's
point.
nephew uncle, right?
Right. And so she's actually the one who he had the video where he was like choking her allegedly. You can't really see it in the video, but you can hear him and he's like grabbing her and hitting her or something. And she's crying and freaking out. She, I think, is the one who told damn homie about the alleged sex torso. And so Sharp, I don't know exactly what got into him, but actually I kind of do. He was dealing with the backlash from this video in which he was attacking this girl allegedly, and he wanted to cover that up. So he figured, why not get drunk, go on stream, admit to the sex doll, and admit to a whole bunch of other stuff. The only way to defeat a bad story is to replace it with a better story. And he seems like he somehow has kind of got that idea into his head, because I think that's what he did. He knew that he could sort of take the weight out of the whole being a woman abuser thing by emphasizing being a torso f***er. So that's really what that was all about. However, when you watch the clip,
hold on.
honestly, he seemed drunk as shit, and then he deleted the video. He had never deleted a stream before, and he claimed that it was an accident. I don't believe that at all.
I seen him say, women have roses, why can't I have a torso?
And I'm in total agreement with that. If I found out that you were having sex with a Fifi, I would not judge you. A pocket
That's
pussy.
prison.
I would not judge you. Right, but if I found out you were making one in your garage.
No, that's bad.
What do you make a Fifi out of in prison?
Towel, latex glove, sock, and lubricant.
Who am I to judge anybody for having sex with a sex doll or a sex toy when my wife makes money off of her vaginal fleshlight mold, and I also have a penis mold that is out and about?
It was a good time to run that commercial.
Well, I'm just saying, I mean, I can't really judge anybody that hard. I understand that this is a real market, that people want to have sex with things besides real life vaginas or their hand. So
I'm not gonna lie, bro.
I really actually don't judge Sharp that much for it. If I found out that you had one, wouldn't really judge you. It is funny though, just because he is a pimp.
Hold on, bro. I definitely have sex with a torso, and I have a sex doll.
Yeah.
Hey, R&B. Hey, Rakita. Hey, Rakita. So what I'm working on now is the R&B sex doll, but I got 5 different points inside the vagina.
Right.
And her voice, different sounds that she makes. When you hit certain points, then you'll hear that voice.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do see people complaining about hearing it. Like, they don't like when we start talking about f***ing our girls.
No?
No, they think it's weird.
They like to watch you do it.
Some of them. I feel like the Plug Talk audience and the No Jumper audience doesn't overlap that much.
The reason why it looks so bad for Sharp, because he claims to be a P.
Yeah.
So why would a P need a torso?
But I think in his mind, this is actually proof to him that he don't need no bitch. He can just fuck the torso.
Hey, bro, they told me them shits cost a couple $1,000.
I don't know about that. I do know I have groped sex dolls. The boobs are incredible. Like, it feels very human. And I actually haven't even done this in 5 or 6 years. So they probably upped the technology significantly.
Can you see Sharp, how he gets violent, how damn homie says he gets violent? Laying over the torso, calling the sex doll a bunch of bees and slapping it up.
The shit out of the sex doll while screaming at her.
And then this one, he can probably be who he really is. He probably takes a few blows to the face. Does it have a face or just a torso without?
I think it's just a torso. I think it's like belly button, vagina, and then like half a thigh.
No face?
No.
Oh.
Not based on how it's been described to me.
No, he's getting practice.
Yeah.
No, he's getting practice. I think he want a handy chick.
Well, there are muscles that you're probably only exercising by doing this.
You miss what I'm saying. He's about to go get him a handy chick.
A handicap chick?
Somebody that's dependent on him. He getting practice.
Well, I respect that, honestly, but I don't know. I mean, I think he's just trying to nut. And when he doesn't have a girl around, he bangs the torso. I mean, if it wasn't him, like if I admitted to this, everybody would be like, we already think he's a freak. We already know he's horny. Who cares? It's not that big a deal.
Listen, man, I have no idea. I think somebody was going to expose him. I think somebody caught him and was videotaping him. And I think that's why he kind of like exposed himself.
But I think that he really just wanted to cover up the video of him beating the girl.
Well, what you mean? How do you cover that up?
Because you changed the story. Now everybody's talking about you fucking the torso, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's taking the place in people's minds of you abusing a woman, which even as a pimp, it's ugly behavior.
It's drowning out the DV.
Yeah. Like a lot of people said that I tried to get rid of the stench of me being accused of being an abuser and a child molester and all this stuff with the Jason Love Lena thing. Now, to be honest, I am not wise enough to have planned that out. Yeah, but it did kind of work that way.
But no, because all that chatter was kind of before, right?
Yeah, it was a few months later, but it everybody stopped talking about whatever they were saying about me being a piece of shit in that regard, and they started talking about me being a piece of shit in another regard, but it was me being a piece of shit in a consensual manner. It wasn't as ugly as the other stuff they tried to put on.
Sharp right now, he probably should change his name to Sharp Diddy. Because you got the allegations of him beating the girl.
Yeah.
And then now he's doing the freak off thing with the torso.
And the funniest thing. At
least Diddy got whole bodies he freaks off with.
I wouldn't put a sex torso past Diddy. But anyway, the funniest thing, Tay Third on the phone with Sharp on the news. He's dying laughing, and Tay keeps making jokes about it. And Sharp's demeanor is basically like, "It's not funny, Church. Like, why are you trying to make jokes about my sex doll?" Like, I mean, that's one of the funniest things I ever heard.
Tay Third is a troll.
He's funny.
Clubhouse troll.
Loves shitting on people. Yeah. He was shitting on Sharp, and Sharp had no idea what to do with it because he takes himself so serious that he was at a certain point in the conversation, he kind of realized that he had to start rolling with the punches.
I wonder if he offers the torso a drink.
Based on how much alcohol seems to be flowing in his house.
Buy you a drink?
Yeah. Or maybe he could put a vacuum on the other side and then put a cigarette in the pussy and sort of smoke it through the vagina. Because you can do that.
And then dude probably don't even flush the coochie out. He's probably foul.
Bust out the boric acid? What? I don't think you should not finish inside the torso, right?
No, that's Sharp.
Because it's like, all right, if it could fit your whole dick in there, you got like a 7 or 8 inch deep cavern. Like, I don't want to be scooping gum out of there. Like, pull out.
Bro, he got
not on the torso's stomach.
He probably, I can see Sharp. You know what I'm saying? Let me give it a water hose. He probably
he's out the yard
flushing it out. Yeah, let me put some 409 in there. Yeah. Not even thinking, and then wonder why he done broke out. This nigga didn't hit the 409. Like, listen, man.
I think the fleshlight, I think you're supposed to put it in the dishwasher.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, bro.
I don't know. It's important to be attentive and loving to your sex toy.
Yeah, I mean, I got to pour the coochie.
No, dead homies. All right, I had a homie who was a lot younger than me, BMX dude back in the day. And he got drunk one night and he told me that something that really had fucked him up in the head as a kid was that he walked into the garage one day and his dad was in there working on his car, drunk as fuck. The whole family had a real problem with alcoholism, and his dad had a pocket pussy hanging out of his back pocket. And actually, I think he walked in on his dad banging the pocket pussy. So he saw his dad actually fucking this inanimate purple thing. And I guess it really fucked him up in the head, which I get. I feel like I would have been pretty fucked up too, especially if you don't have the kind of relationship where you can have an honest conversation about it. I mean, he became a bad alcoholic, possibly to erase the memory of watching his dad fuck a pocket pussy. I don't know.
So he stood there and watched?
Maybe for a couple of seconds until he figured out what was going on. But I don't think his dad was like embarrassed, so he kept banging it.
Did his dad know?
His dad didn't give a fuck. Yeah. I think that was part of the problem. Is his dad? His dad was like banging it, like, "Get the hell out of here! I'm fucking this thing."
Listen, sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. Hey, listen, Pops is probably like, "Hey, son, screw you. I'm about to blow."
There's nothing I'm more scared of than my kid walking in on me jerking off. Because that I don't want to have to explain that. Or even us having sex. Like, I lock the door every time we have sex.
Oh, my God.
If the kid's in a room sleeping or whatever. No, I don't want to see that. That's bad.
Yo, that dude, so he started drinking.
Yeah, I think maybe to cover it up. To mask the pain.
I wonder if he ever went and brought himself one.
I think, yeah, probably, yeah.
Oh, shit. Well, by now you should understand.
You know, can I tell you a story? You tell me if you think I might have trauma from this. Back in the day, I had just moved out of my house in New Hampshire. I moved to New York. I'm living with a couple of dudes. I come home one day. There's a girl that they had met off MySpace, and they're banging her together. And one of them tells me, like, hey, get in there. You bang her too. I get in there. I'm banging her, whatever. She's kind of blown out, I'm not gonna lie, so I'm not about to finish from banging her. So I go in the other room, I plunk down a metal folding chair, and I close the door, and I sit back, and I start beating my meat so I could finish, because I was just, in this threesome, and I want to nut. I'm like 20, and right at the exact moment that I was doing this move, where I was coming onto my hand, and at the exact moment that I started to come onto my hand, my friend opens the door and proceeds to watch the cum leave my body, and actually was like, ew, what are you doing?
You had some pussy in the other room?
Yeah, but I wasn't about to blow a nut. I'm banging her with a Chinese guy.
Huh?
Like, one of my roommates was Chinese.
Hey, yo.
He's got like a 1-inch dick. He's banging her.
Let
I'm
me
like,
ask you a question. So, did she know you joined?
Yeah. She honestly seemed like almost anybody could have joined and she would have been cool with it.
Sound like some Tupac shit.
No. I mean, I was last to the party, and she welcomed me into the party.
She told you, or did they tell you?
I mean, I don't remember. She okayed it, yeah.
Oh.
Probably, I assume. I don't know.
Yeah, you know when you about Bill Cosby age, you're going to hear from her, right?
I didn't administer any drugs. But you know what's the funny part about it, too, though, is that...
How you know they didn't?
The Asian dude didn't have a MySpace. This is when people first were starting to get MySpace. He didn't have a MySpace. So my other roommate made a MySpace for him and was going on MySpace and trying to meet girls using his profile. And then once he found some girls that were down to come over, he's like, yo, you got girls coming over tonight. And he's like, why? He's like, well, check this out. I made a MySpace for you, and I've been messaging girls on your behalf.
So they wanted to see the Asian dude.
They were f***ing with the Asian dude, yeah. He was kind of big, strong.
And y'all use the Asian dude as the bait.
Yeah, we were using the Asian guy as bait, yeah. Yo, either way, I just like, that's probably the only time that I ever had a homie just walk into the room and just see me nut.
Yeah, that's some wild ass stories, bro. Y'all got some wild. Man, y'all missed all that shit. Is wild.
You did. You were rotting away in the pen.
Yeah, definitely. All my adolescence.
So okay, let's talk about this. You are really a weird dude. Why are you out here just exposing all this Nipsey shit? Like, it's not enough that you've been talking about how the love of his life, maybe Diddy. That was last week. Now this week you want to be like, oh, look, he had a charge at a certain point. What is this? Why are you beefing with a dead guy?
Hold on, bro. I'm not beefing with nothing.
It seems like you are.
Listen, this was crazy. We're discussing the Diddy trial.
Okay.
We're looking at the landscape of it. I put something on the table. People get mad. Capricorn gets on the stand, and what does she say? Yes, she was at the freak off.
Okay.
Right? So now, okay, well, they ain't get mad when she said it. Don't get me. I'm just like looking at the landscape.
But you extrapolated on it and said that Nipsey didn't marry her because you assumed that she was getting piped down by Diddy.
That's not what I said. I said, I don't want to hear all this crazy shit. They was together 5 years with a kid. He never married her.
You guys aren't married?
Oh, we gonna be married.
Me and my wife were together for like 7 years before we got married.
It ain't been no 5 years in the motherfucking kid either.
You've been together with R&B for what, 3-4 years?
3 years.
And if you don't get married in the next year, are you going to be accepting of people saying, like, well, maybe she's not marriage material?
Listen. I'm going to definitely marry my woman. Okay. But y'all be talking all this high and mighty shit. I'm just doing the math. R&B ain't going to let it get to 5 years.
Don't you just feel like once somebody's dead, that there's no reason to keep dragging their name through the mud?
What's dragging? The truth could never be considered disrespect. I didn't put the post up. Some other shit put the post up.
But you've been running a campaign to draw attention to these alleged minor allegations, which, by the way,
I'm not running the campaign.
It doesn't appear to me that anybody's made any kind of effort to find out what actually happened, because allegedly these charges were dropped. Do we know?
There's somebody making an effort. Kenny Kingpin.
But what happened? Do we know anything about it?
He haven't ran his content yet. He gonna run it.
Okay.
Sometimes you got to wake up. Here goes the problem with those allegations. That site was able to put it up because nobody has cleared it, right? I'm going to be real. I could have put the time into clearing it, but I put the time into putting attention on it. Now that the attention is on it, everybody gonna pay attention to where it get cleared. Kenny Kingpin for Roller 60s. That's them to do their due diligence to clear it. Now, why you think Kenny
Wait, so somebody that is a Nip affiliate is doing the research to figure out what that was about?
Well, why you think he's doing it?
To exonerate him, ideally, I guess.
And where you think the call came from?
To investigate it? I don't know. You, maybe?
Oh, okay.
So
Guess
you're saying
what?
you put people on the job
If
who...
these people would have did their motherfucking job
What people?
prior to anybody, that site, whoever that site was, wouldn't have been putting it up.
What
You know what I
site
mean?
was it? I saw it in the Reddit.
Some shit street wars. I can pull it up. Some site put it up. I don't know the site, right? If they would have did their job back then and cleared it, right? I can find it because street wars or something.
It just occurs to me that people are so thirsty for new content that they're willing to talk about these things that, you know, it makes sense to expose somebody's criminal shit or allegations when they're actually walking the streets. Like, who gives
No,
it?
that
Like,
ain't how that
why
works.
does this have to be even the topic
West
of
Coast
conversation?
Gang Wars 3.
Okay, very prominent page that craziest captions in the history of Instagram.
West Coast Gang Wars 3. I never heard of them. But here's the thing, right? People talk about you more when you're dead than alive,
Right.
right? So here's the thing.
He's been dead for 6 years.
Yeah, that's cool.
7 years.
He's been there for 6 years. So what I'm saying is, after Kenny Kingpin does what he's supposed to do, then you won't see no more blog sites putting that up.
Because he's going to he's going to put the real story in which...
He's going to put the paperwork up. He's going to put the dismissal up. He'll put it all up. Nobody's done it.
But
Can't find
you went out of your way to draw as much attention as possible to it before it was actually investigated.
it still wouldn't have been investigated. Nobody wouldn't have cleared it up if I wouldn't have said nothing.
So you're saying that you drawing all this attention to it means that you were doing the right thing because it would eventually be debunked. I mean, I'm sure, like, in your words, your team of exposers spend all day pulling paperwork. I mean, they easily, obviously, could have looked into it before you put it out there.
We haven't pulled shit.
But then it would have been a boring narrative. Then it would have been like, oh, here's the thing that
It's not our work.
Okay.
We didn't post that. We don't know that site's not
But you're saying that you chose to draw a ton of attention to it before you put somebody on the case to try to debunk it, which, again, it was dropped. So already debunked, kind of,
It's
right?
not debunked. It's because it's still there to pull up, and all you see is the charges. And those charges are horrible charges, and there's nothing else behind the charges. So what needs to happen is people need to see what went on with the charges.
Okay.
And it's happening.
Okay. So, but you think that ultimately people will not look at this as something that is a blemish on Nip's legacy?
Nah, I don't believe it is.
Okay.
I mean,
But I mean, the charges sound crazy as fuck.
It's a charge. Yeah, and see, that's the thing. The charges sound crazy. Watch this. The charges sound crazy.
Wasn't it his friend?
Yep, I'm almost done.
Okay, did you get all the paperwork?
No, I didn't get. I just got the charges. There's 3 charges. I was gonna call you earlier. Now you on the phone. It's a weird charge on here, bro.
Well, listen, we're not gonna talk about that right now. We talk about that when I call you. So, did you get everything to clear that up?
To clear what the original charge,
Yeah.
the first one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not clear. It is what it is, but I got it told that it
Okay, well, send me what you got. Send me what you got. If you're missing something, I'll have my team dig into it to find what you
I
need.
got no paperwork. I just got my delivery. I got the same thing y'all got.
All right, well, we need to dig and get the paperwork because you need to add that to it. That way it goes away.
Oh, I can get it though. Let me get it on me. I got a paralegal doing it. I'll give me.
All right, I'm going to call you when I'm done with this pod. Now, see, everybody always think I'm up to no good. That nigga from Rolling 60s right there for real. Right? Listen, my voice is a big voice. This is a big situation. And it keep coming up because ain't nobody clearing this shit.
Well, this is the first time it's really come up. I never heard anybody talk about this
No,
before
this
now.
has been up before. Like, we've been knowing about this shit since 2009, 2010.
Okay.
right? You just didn't know about it, but it keeps coming up. So my whole disposition is, okay, it's back up again. Either these cats, I don't know if they even from LA. I don't know this blog. Either they from LA and they know it, and they're riding off of because the Laura London thing popped up, and they like, okay, we're gonna run it. But they only did it because there's nothing there to debunk it. If they would have went and pulled that and it showed the paperwork tied to it showing dismissed, they wouldn't have put it up.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? So now I'm making sure, Wack's making sure, right, it get handled the Paru, right? The Paru called over there to the Crenshaw district to somebody I know that's in YouTube land, right? And said, hey, look, bro, I know I really don't know you like that, but you from 6-0, this would need to happen. We both know what this is and what this ain't. So do this, do this, do this, do that. You see, as soon as I called, he said, I'm almost done. But what'd that tell you?
I just like how you're trying to paint yourself as the good guy, even though you are the one
I
who
just called a dude wide open. Did I not, bro? I just called him wide open.
But there's an alternate path here. You could have not drawn attention to it, had
you
your
know
guys
what?
do the paperwork in the
And you know
background,
what?
and then you could have been the one who came to the stage and
And
said,
you know
hey,
what?
Nip was
No,
not
no.
some sort of sex
No,
mess.
then you know what? Guess what? It comes up again and it keeps coming up. This way,
If you debunked it?
I'm not gonna debunk shit.
Well, if
I'm gonna use my voice to put the light on it. Now, if I was on some bullshit, then I would go pull the paperwork and whatever, right? But guess what? It's time for some of them over there to do their due diligence.
Who? Nip's estate?
No, not his estate, his homies. His niggas is some of you niggas over there say y'all got YouTube channels. Okay, let me kill two birds with one stone. Let me assist you. Let me create a situation and assist you in how to clear the situation and run it on your shit. And then send me the link and I'll promote your shit.
How is that better than you finding out about the allegations and then doing a full comprehensive review
I'm
and
not
then
doing the
having
full
your
shit.
first statement
I'm
about
not
it
doing the
be
full
the
shit.
debunking?
They need to do it. And I'm going to show you how to do it. That's enough. Now, and I'm going to give your platform some legs so you now have a voice. How about that? I got a fucking voice. I just left Vlad. I come to work here. If I want to call academic, I got enough.
Right. And I feel like you're trying to bolster your voice by putting out allegations that you apparently
didn't put out
know
the
are not
allegations.
accurate
I didn't put out the
about someone who's dead and can't defend
but I
themselves.
didn't put them out.
Well, you threw a lot of fuel on the fire. And let's just move past that. You hopped on Academics' live stream last night with the guy who apparently Nipsey chose because he had motion, which I thought was a pretty funny reason to choose somebody for a threesome. But the guy who apparently banged Nipsey's baby mama with him.
Well, that's the truth. That's not a lie.
Right, but some people would say that also looks kind of strange that you're so dead set on exposing consensual sexual matters that he was involved in.
I suggest y'all stop telling me I'm lying about something.
Every time
you tell me I'm lying about something, I'm going to get closer and closer to exposing the truth.
I've talked to enough people that I know that the video is real.
Ain't no one video, it's about 10 of them, right? It's a fact. So what I'm telling you, okay, you want to lie? Fuck it. I called him wide open. Boom, boom, boom. Nah, he said very minimum. Act like, who is it? This the star of the goddamn videos. Now, here's the thing, right?
The star is the other guy.
That's a fact.
Why? He's just laying it down really good?
Yo, listen, it's a lot of videos. So, but here's the thing. You weird. You do weird-ass sex shit.
Not that weird, but...
You do weird-ass shit.
What's the weirdest
thing I've done? Vlad, he told me some shit you said I didn't even know you said. You weird.
What would I say?
I don't know. You gonna see it on Vlad. I can't remember, but he said you have said, because we was talking about the Diddy shit, and he kind of compared you. I'm like, hold on, you can't compare the 22. So he's like, no, Wack. Adam said this. Adam got to a point where he made me uncomfortable, and I had to tell him I'm uncomfortable. I don't want to talk about this.
I don't know what he's referring to.
I swear to God, he said it.
Anything I've talked about being into sexually, I've said it to Vlad's face.
And he said, when he was doing a pod with you, that he had to tell you, bro, this shit is making me feel uncomfortable. Whatever he was talking about, I don't know. It's what he said. You will see it. I left him.
I don't know what makes him feel uncomfortable.
So he said, I can't even remember the weird shit you said. I was defending. I'm like, look, you ain't gonna put the 22 straw over there because he was talking about dude in the semen on the nipples. I say, 22 straw ain't doing that.
Never touched. No.
You're not doing.
I avoid it. Like it's toxic waste.
I said, Peter gazing, he's guilty.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
I'll stare that thing right in the eye.
Right? But what I'm saying is, what happens is they say shit, I can say something. And in this situation, I didn't feel like, so I just got the dude on the thing. Right? There you go, talk to him.
That dude's not from a gang?
No.
Do you know how he knew Nip? Did you guys get to that?
I mean, he asked him, why did he choose you? And he said,
I have motion. I had motion.
He not even from California.
That guy. Really? Was he living in California at that time?
Yeah, he lives in 2-3 different places.
Do you think he qualifies as a bull? A bull is who you order in to bang your wife for you.
Well, obviously he thought that's what he was because reading the text messages.
Okay, moving past.
You trying to like get him on one of your shows? That what you trying to do? Now, that would
is he an adult performer?
What do you mean?
Does he do porn? Has he been in pornographic films?
Well, shit, that was porn. I don't know.
Do you have this on your phone now? Because I've previously said that I didn't want to see it. It's slowly getting to the point where I'm like, okay, maybe I have to see this.
No, I don't. He keeps it on his phone. I call and tell him to come up here. He'll come up here.
Wow. What does this do to Nip's legacy? In particular, the claim that you guys made about this guy finishing in the girl's mouth and then Nip.
Bro, that's just one video, bro. It's a lot of shit I don't talk about.
Really?
Respect.
So you're saying that's not the craziest thing?
No.
Jesus Christ. What does this do to Nip's legacy from a normie perspective and from a gangbanger perspective?
Hey, bro, the nigga he got, that's his kink. Just because a motherfucker's a gangbanger don't mean they can't play video games, ride skateboards, have a kink, be a freak. You know how many motherfucking gang leaders I seen in prison have a wife to go to a family visit, but got a gay dude in the cell and calling shots on the yard?
Right.
This is the reality of what this is. Like,
okay, but what a guy does in prison when they're doing 20 years is at least a little bit different than what they do on the outside.
Hell
with
no,
their
I got
woman.
homies, the original baby gangsters, that did 20 straight. We ain't touched no man.
Well, I'm not saying everyone does it, but I'm saying that there's definitely a precedent where dudes will be fucking men in prison, out of prison, and no longer do that, right?
No, listen, I don't know what they do when they get out. But if you're doing it there, then you might as well do it everywhere because that's what you are.
I just think there's a difference between preferring fucking women, but then when you're in an environment where it's only men, you fuck some men, versus, and not to say that Nip actually fuck men, but because really that's a different scenario altogether.
Yeah, what I'm saying is to each his own.
Yeah, I just am wondering what you think the streets are going to do. Like, it feels like a lot of people are just kind of fingers in the ear. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to talk about it. So they just ignore all this stuff.
My thing is this. Now, I'm going to be real. I've said it. They need to just really take this out of his possession and control it. Because one day it's going to hit. I didn't did my part.
You're saying that the family or whatever should reach out to this guy and basically purchase this.
I don't know.
That's not going to stop anything ultimately, right?
Well, shit.
It seems like already nobody plans on releasing it.
You never know, bro.
You're kind of teasing that?
I'm not teasing nothing. If it had been released, I'd have released it when Big U begged me to release it. And I wouldn't. That's our first fallout.
Damn. That's crazy.
Because
he probably really wanted you to release it, right?
He did, on my mama.
Okay, so that wasn't a public conversation. That was private. Big U said.
In my backyard, in my back house, me, him, and one of my original baby gangsters, the same nigga that did 20 years straight on Pa Rui on the street. Straight up, he was right there. He heard everything.
Why did Biggie want you to put it out?
We couldn't believe what we was hearing.
Why did Biggie want you to put it out?
Because he said Lord London wouldn't communicate with him, and he said he got control of old girl, and he could make her the queen. He wanted to do a thing called 60 Minutes Uncut and do a run with her. He wanted to blow her. He felt her to blow her up.
The old baby mama?
Yeah, he can manage her. Now, I'm telling him, like, bro, he ain't giving a because he felt like everybody is pushing him out. They're not acknowledging him. You get what I'm saying? This is why he didn't go to the funeral. Big, you had an invite to the funeral, but he didn't go. They gave him an invite.
Because he felt like he was being pushed out.
He felt like he was being pushed out. So he didn't want to show up and then like everybody front row and everybody whatever, and they just got him where they got him. So I just told him that the snitch allegations, and he wanted me to take control over those contracts and act like I brought him out of them prior to and then go out to the state. I said, I ain't fucking with it.
Okay.
I ain't touching none of it.
Well, at least to the public at large, I think it appears that you're running a campaign on Nipsey.
What kind of campaign?
An exposure campaign?
Oh, no. Let me tell you something. We are the exposers. If we going to expose, it'll be exposed. We don't have step on the exposing. That's a fact. So, you know, if at some point, the mental midgets, they may not understand it. Those that come from where I come from and understand the chessboard will understand it. Because when dude's done doing his due diligence and his marketing and promoted right, no other blog will post that. What they will post is charges was dropped. And this is why charges were dropped. Read about it yourself. That's what they gonna post. You get what I'm saying? It's because people haven't done their due diligence is why people keep playing with it. So yeah, okay, maybe they said, well, Wack, when you said something, everybody looking at it. I want them to look at it because they're gonna look at that even more when it comes. Now, if that comes and you don't see me running that content and promoting that content, then call me what you want to call me. But you ain't no goddamn fool. It's obvious I'm in communication and giving direction, right?
To that guy?
It's obvious.
Sure.
He from 6-0. You know, he ain't no young dude.
And so he's not worried about people knowing that he's doing this work.
Why not? I mean, at the end of the day, I reached out through Eddie Boy. Said, Eddie Boy, listen, you know such and such. He said, y'all, can you get him online? Hey, look, this right here that's coming up, it keep coming up. He said, Wack, Nip addressed it on Kev Mac. I said, yeah, verbally, years ago. It keep coming up because there's nothing to really debunk it. Run the work.
Kev Mac asked Nip about the underage girl charge allegation?
Nip already talked about it.
Oh, good.
But again, he talked about it. You can find that on YouTube.
Okay.
He talked about it, but guess what? When people talk about stuff, people supposed to cover up an allegation. Documentation always trumps the conversation.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? So now let's kill it. And this is the only way to kill it.
I maintain my stance that if you were moving with good intentions, that you would have allowed the research on this claim to be done before you started drawing so much attention to it. And that it was not the ideal time for you to be bringing the alleged third guy from the tape onto Academic Stream.
I mean, we was on Academic Stream. I tell people, leave me alone. Stop telling me I'm lying. I'm an Aries.
But who was telling you that? Danza?
Who?
Who told you that you were lying? Like, nobody really of importance, right?
Danza on Danza. He don't want to put the money up. You know me.
Because from my perspective, it doesn't seem like anybody who's part of Nip's team is reacting to this in any way. They seem like they would rather just try to ignore it, right?
It ain't there for them to react to it. We talk about the world. You know, most people from your team know you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They know you. They know what's what. They know what ain't what.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I do you mind if
let me ask you something?
Sure.
You know me very well.
Uh-huh.
The minute that man said I'm digging through something, but I see something weird, if I was on some bullshit, what I done right here, right now?
Tell us what it is.
What I do?
Said to wait till like tomorrow so you can put
Shut
it out.
down. I'll talk to you about that later.
Okay. I have a friend that I was spending some time with while I was in New York who wants a word with you.
Who that? They're not going to answer. They're petrified. They feel my energy.
I'm trying to build a bridge here.
They feel my energy. They're petrified. They know you calling about Wack 100. They looking at the phone right now. They like, nah, Wack is there. I ain't answering. I want to answer, but I ain't answering. They're petrified. That Wack 100, that 100-sided clubhouse strip. They know I'm sitting here. I'm glowing. I'm shining. They ain't going to answer. They feel me. They feel me. There you go.
Okay, well, he did not pick up, even though he had just texted me. So he'll probably call back in a second.
Scared.
Nah, I think he's all right.
Who is it?
Yo, Loki Shmula.
Oh, he's a bitch.
Why you say that? We interviewed him, and he was talking about his issues with you.
No, ain't no issues. He's a weirdo. He's a motherfucker we didn't know. He got his ass whooped and pounded out at the gang out there. They beat him. He was running, screaming. 6ix9ine them whooped on him.
Right, yeah, he had an issue with them.
They whooped on him, right? And then he started screaming like me and Blueface name, like he made up some fake story or some shit that we ran into him. We ain't, but this is the troll time. I think he's a rapper or something trying to rap.
He raps a little bit.
Yeah, so he starts saying, I don't know, we owed him some money. As we ain't never seen this kid in his life. So when we went and did our research, we seen he got pounded out. We stopped talking to him. And what you got to do is stop letting these peasants say hi at him, and then all of a sudden they on our radar. Now they got to earn their keep.
I went and hung out with him in his neighborhood.
What the f that mean?
Honestly, we had a fucking crazy scenario that when the footage comes out, it's going to be a whole thing. But
Loki not going to come in front of me. No, I'm going to sock him out.
One of his homies, drunk as hell. All
boy.
right, so we're in a Crip neighborhood in Brownsville, right? One of the gnarlier parts of Brooklyn. I'm with Hitta, Bompton G. Uno, and King Pill, and at least 2 of the 3 are wearing red rags, and we're in a Crip neighborhood. One of Loki Shmula's homies, drunk as hell. He could barely speak. And he decides it's time to address the issue of why are you in this neighborhood wearing that? I don't appreciate it. Calling him cuh, all this shit.
What happened?
Basically, Loki Shmula told him to get the fuck out and stop fucking up his interview, and ultimately it subsided. But there was definitely a moment there where it felt like this tension was going to simmer over into something very...
Yeah, but that song, see, Bompton G. Uno, he know better. He over there with a nigga that ain't official like that. And this was crazy. They'd have killed G. Uno over there, then it started some whole other shit. So you can't, he know not to just be floating around with just anybody.
Well, he seems like he's a pretty important presence in his neighborhood.
Hey, bro, let me tell you something. People's important as long as certain other people ain't around. When you playing like that, you taking the opposite to your block, you better be that to the block. Because a motherfucker come through there, like niggas like Third and Cuban, I done seen it. Come through there, all bad, ain't no big, pow, they DP him. What's happening with you? Dude is not that. The Loki Shmula dude is not that.
I don't know.
Can't believe, you done been around the element, Adam. You like, come on.
He seemed pretty official to me.
Buy that nigga BMX bike, y'all go hang out together.
I would like to do that.
But what I don't respect about him is he clout chase with a lie.
What's the lie?
The nigga just started screaming me and Blueface name, talking about he did. I'm like, nigga, we ain't never seen you.
He seemed like he had some kind of issue with Blueface's cripping.
Blueface will beat the shit out of that. First of all, nigga, Blueface from over here.
Right.
Nigga, don't question no Cali niggas cripping, blooding, Paru-ing, hoovering, any other end.
That was the weird part, is that he was taking issue with Blueface not being from the exact area of Schoolyard Crip, but then becoming a Schoolyard Crip. I'm like, that happens all the time. That's allowed here. That's not, nobody takes issue with that.
Hey, listen, you need to question your cripping. Nigga, your shit 3,000 miles away.
Crippin' seems pretty solid to me.
Okay, question this crippin', nigga. Can't nobody from no other coast question NAM gang members nothing from right here. Like, let's establish that for right now.
That's fair.
You hollering, what he claiming? He probably claiming some shit. Listen, DJ Quick said it.
What?
Niggas claiming shit they ain't never even seen before.
I don't know exactly what he claims.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, it's like, come on, bro. But he was. That's how I know. I'm like, who was this dude? And we went and researched him.
I wish we would call back.
And he can't tell you what issue. He just started like you questioning Blueface Crippin'. Nigga, who was you? I guarantee you Blueface will beat the shit out of him.
Well, actually, Blueface has a song for this.
Blueface,
I don't care if you like it, but you're going to respect the script.
Blueface will beat the dog shit out of dude.
Blueface is pretty big, yeah.
Ain't no pretty big nephew. Got a squabble. We got the heart of a lion, and he gonna go. Now he really didn't put his weight on. You seen him lately?
Yeah, he just looks a little treacherous.
Yeah,
now.
I don't know, dude talking and talking. You know what? He the same type of dude, nigga, run into him. Hey, Blueface, what's up, my nigga? Man, I was just trolling.
I mean, we wouldn't know that unless they actually came face to face, right?
I mean, that's your partner.
Anyway,
Why don't you invite him? He want to come sit down? He can come sit down.
low-key Shmoola?
Yeah. Bring him out here.
No, because you're probably going to do some fucking, some Jay Reed shit to him.
So what?
Some Jay Reed shit.
What's that?
You're going to pistol whip him and strip him naked in the alley?
No, I said sit him at the table.
Yeah, I know.
That ain't my activity.
Right.
I might break his shit at the table, though.
Break his face open at the table?
Man, I'll break a nigga shit open.
We're going to get you 86'd out of here.
That's cool.
It'll be worth it
Hey,
to just
listen.
beat up some kid from New York.
Listen, that nigga let some disrespectful shit come out of his mouth. He going to bed. One thing I know, I'm breaking shit.
That's the good thing about if he were to FaceTime us is that
I'm known. Listen,
maybe he could go in the phone booth.
I'm breaking shit.
Maybe you could go in the phone booth.
I'm breaking shit. If I get off, you let me get off, I'm splitting and breaking shit. This is a fact.
Maybe you guys can do a podcast outside on the street.
No,
so that
these
we
all
are
be
not
your
held
little-
responsible.
This all be your little buddies.
No, I got a lot of
These
friends.
little
you know.
dudes, these little weirdo dudes.
Anyway, all right. So speaking of someone that we're both buddies with,
Huh?
how did it feel watching our boy Lefty Gunplay get turned away as he tried to go on stage with Kendrick Lamar at the tour with SZA?
That's not on Lefty Gunplay. It's not on Lefty. That's not on Kendrick.
Who's it on?
The management, Lefty's management.
Right.
I know Kendrick's people. No way if management would have contacted them to say, "Yo, could Lefty be on there on stage and say his part?" They would have denied him that.
You don't think?
Nah.
Okay, from my perspective, for sure his team reached out prior to that and said Lefty would like to come on stage with him. Because notably,
That's cap.
nobody who was on the album who was from California, aside from AZ Chike, graced the stage with them.
Well, listen, let me tell you something. First of all, let's establish one thing. Kendrick did what he was supposed to do at the pop-out show. Y'all not gonna prostitute the homie every time he on stage. Motherfuckers there to see Kendrick. So he already put his work in what he's supposed to do from cats at the pop-out show.
I think it's fine.
Right.
Honestly, I don't think it's it's not his responsibility to bring all these people on stage.
Secondly, I believe Kendrick was there 3 dates.
Was it only 3? I thought it was more.
I think 3, 4, might have been more, but I know 3 for sure. If Lefty's management would have reached out to his management to get him up there on one of them dates, they would have worked with him.
Lefty, I believe, has claimed that he has Kendrick's number.
That ain't got nothing to do. Kendrick already got enough to worry about.
I'm saying if you want to be on stage, you have to reach out to
That's
Kendrick
where you go
via
wrong
text
at.
and say, "Hey, can I come on stage with you tonight?"
Let management do their job.
Or have management use that phone
He
number,
could've
or
reached
reach out to TDE. You can reach. There's so many professional ways that you could have handled this. When I see Lefty trying to storm the stage, to me, I see someone who has struck out with every other avenue that he tried to use in order to get this idea done. And as a result, he was trying
You ain't
to.
gonna storm the stage.
He was trying to enter through the crowd. Obviously, the security, even if they recognize you, even if they fuck with you, the security is not in a position to say, "Sure, come on stage."
No, they ain't gonna let you.
They are not allowed to make that decision.
They'll be fired.
Yeah.
But I really think that management should have did their job. If they'd have reached out to Top Dog or even somebody on KDOT's direct management for one of those dates, I believe they would have made it happen.
And I do think that they probably reached out, and I feel like they were probably turned down.
Nah, I don't believe. Nah, they wouldn't have did that.
Then why would Lefty just show up and try to storm the stage? It doesn't make any sense.
He showed up because he's a Kendrick fan.
Right. Well, he paid to get into the show, presumably.
That's another thing. If he had reached out to management for some, that's what I'm telling you, bro. Sometimes some of these managers, bro, they pride and their ego be in the way. You got to erase all that when it comes to your artist and your client.
If
Nigga, you
your
got to
management's idea for how you're going to get on stage with Kendrick Lamar is to just try to walk onto the stage from the crowd, then your management needs to be replaced.
No,
that is obviously not how this is going to work.
They should have reached out to management. They would have provided tickets, probably some VIP passes, and probably gave him action. If not to say all 3 dates, but at least one of the dates, they probably would have let him get out at the end of that song and do his little words.
To me, it seems pretty obvious that they didn't want him on stage.
That's not obvious. I believe that they didn't reach out to Kendrick's team.
That would be a level of ineptitude that is almost impossible to fathom. If you're a manager and your client wants to get on stage to perform this song and you don't try to use a phone to text them or call them,
I challenge them to show us that.
I mean, there's no way that his team is that unprofessional.
A lot of people got homeboy management, bro.
But OTR are not that much of like homeboy management. You know, they seem like they probably have at least some clue of how to get shit done.
A lot of people got homeboy management. I'm just being real, bro. And sometimes when you can't get through one way, you got to go through another way. And that takes skills and time and relationship.
That's what I think happened. They tried to get through the official way. You know, Lefty, obviously he wanted to be backstage. He wanted to be hanging out. To be fair, I don't think I saw anybody hanging out backstage.
Kendrick don't run that type of show.
I didn't see anybody who posted photos like hanging out backstage with the TD.
No, he don't run that type
Maybe
of show.
a little bit, but if it was just...
Only thing back there is the immediate people. That's it. You know, SZA there on deck too. Top Dog ain't playing that shit. Kendrick ain't into all that. You know what I'm saying? That's why they keep their ship the way it is.
People who saw the show told me that there was pyrotechnics and there's dancers and that it was probably considered a liability to let this random meth head come on stage.
Well, I'm not going to call him a meth head.
Well, that's the least controversial thing that we're ever going to say about him.
How did his album do?
I think when I did the calculations, I ended up with a number that was around like 1,100 to 1,200 copies, which...
Doubled last time.
To be fair, yeah, approximately doubled what he sold the first time, the last album that came out at the same time as GNX.
Yeah, doubled the last time. Last time it was like 400, 500 something.
Yeah, so step in the right direction.
And I keep hearing people saying, I think I heard Viral Way say, well, Lefty's this Lefty's second album. Lefty dropped the same day Kendrick dropped. So Lefty been dropping his music. I don't know what his team's over there doing because we don't never know it's really coming the way it's supposed to know it's coming.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like... It feels like he makes music and then he wants to put it out and they just put it out and there's not a lot of support.
Yo, listen, I don't know who's the people over there.
OTR.
OTR, holla at T-Money, man. Next time y'all finna do something on Lefty, reach out to me, man. I'll give y'all the cheat code, man.
So, okay, the other Lefty news is that he was supposed to go on tour with Shoreline Mafia and Santa Fe Clan, I believe is the other group. And he was removed from the tour and replaced with Peso and Bravo the Bag Chaser.
Shout out Bravo the Bag Chaser.
Shout out Peso as well. And Peso, whose team is now buying promo for his music using the clip of Lena the Plug dancing to his song where he shouted her out.
That's good shit. But I think Lefty claimed responsibility for that. I seen him on a pod where he said, "I be messing up. I'm uncontrollable."
Right. I mean, it feels like they tried to give him an opportunity with that tour. It would have definitely been the biggest tour that he's been on so far, and he lost out on the opportunity because they think he's a little bit too much of a wild card. He got arrested for smoking meth in Texas. He got arrested at Rolling Loud for some sort of gun case. You know, and just seems like he's kind of landing himself in wacky
He didn't have
headlines.
a gun at Rolling Loud, did he?
No, I think he had a gun case from his neighborhood from a previous period of time.
So they served a warrant for him.
They went and picked him up at Rolling Loud. He wasn't able to perform.
Yeah, so that's
really robbed us from what would presumably have been some pretty viral footage if he had taken the stage.
Yeah,
it would have been funny.
Hey, yo, listen, man. Lefty is trying to change his tune. I know we've been trolling him, right? But, you know, like, he's dropped the gunplay.
Nope, it's right here.
I just think he
did. Okay, also, he didn't drop the gunplay.
I thought he did.
He still left the gunplay on YouTube, Amazon, Apple Music, Spotify, etc. Like, he said he was going to drop it, and he didn't drop it. He didn't remove it anywhere. From what I could tell.
Maybe he might lose his channel or his numbers.
I do think that probably there's a bunch of logistical shit that you would have to get
Remember,
to.
even Kanye, he was trying to get his thing to just say yay.
Right, and even on Twitter, he's not yay. He's Kanye West.
It's Kanye West.
Yeah.
It's still there. So, and I'm pretty sure he tempted, but you probably lose them numbers.
Well, even just getting the Instagram handle, you're probably not going to get Lefty. You should probably be thankful to have Lefty Gunplay or whatever. It also kind of occurs to me that it feels weird talking about the Lefty Gunplay thing because at first he was so viral. Now we talk about it and it's like I look at the numbers and they don't really seem like anybody cares.
Well, we knew that back when he started getting a little ahead of himself.
Yeah.
When he told you 10 grand, I think a lot of these new artists don't know. You get that quick boost because people are talking about you and catering to you, but until you're really solidified, you can't stand on that like that.
No, yeah.
And what we said would happen, happened.
Yeah, really.
But I think he's feeling it. But I mean, listen, he's still fighting, man. He's swinging. I can respect that. He's still swinging. And I trolled him. I got pulled into that. You started that.
And that's how I feel too, is that I didn't want beef with Lefty. Lefty, feeling himself, fresh out on the scene, decided that he wanted smoke with the 22-ster and the Rooster.
Yeah,
and as a result, we've really been running as much content about him as possible since then, really highlighting every time something goes bad for him in his career. And then he sits back and he feels like the victim when he very much chose this path.
He started. So now that I know he's kind of like, he in the mud, I'm gonna let him be. Listen, Lefty, I'm gonna let you be, bro. I just talked about you on Vlad in a positive way. We talking about the numbers. You dropped the album. People want to know. Keep promoting, keep pushing the album. Next time you got something going on, how your team reach out, man, and maybe I could sit at the table and give y'all some pointers on what you doing, what you not doing, or maybe a few connects, you know what I mean, to kind of like get you some better positioning.
It feels like even given how obvious it is that he needs some help in his career, that I don't really think that he's going to be humble enough to realize that and to maybe come to us and say, hey, I was acting like a dick. He's just got his head is way too far up his ass. He's not going to know that he fell off until it is unbelievably obvious.
Well, here's the thing. When we say fell off.
Well, the idea that he was ever on is very much up for debate.
He was, he was on a pony.
It just feels unfair to even like he got mad at me for calling him the Mexican Crip Mac. Here's the difference with him. If Crip Mac comes back tomorrow and does No Jumper, 1 million views. Probably 1.5. A lot of views. If Lefty right now offers no boost when you have him on a podcast, Crip Mac never got to that level. Crip Mac, even when he was flooding the internet doing No Jumper every week or two, people were still excited about him. So I do regret saying that because it appears that Lefty's career doesn't have anywhere close to the staying power that Crip Mac's does. Crip Mac, very beloved.
I just hope we don't look up, bro, and he's back behind bars or doing something crazy.
Yeah, that actually seems fairly likely, but yeah, hopefully not. Okay, Larry Hoover's free. Last topic.
It's not free.
Not free. He had his sentence. He was pardoned by Donald Trump, but he still has a 200-year state sentence.
Yeah, but he'll be all right.
So do you think that he's now being taken out of the feds and put into the
that's a plus.
Put into the state prison.
It's a plus. He's been in ADX, lock up.
So
can't see nobody.
It's a win because now his family will have an easier time being able to visit him and whatnot, I guess.
Well, I mean, that's for sure. But secondly, he has 52 or 53 years in.
Right.
Right. So he's eligible for parole.
And you might think that the governor would take interest in this, that there's a lot of people who might want to step in and kind of.
He's in his late 70s or 70s. He's somewhere around there. I believe that Trump, because he did what he did, that was a great accomplishment, a great leap for him, because he had life over there, the feds. So now he has a possibility of parole. And he has 52, 53 years in.
Uh-huh.
The administration that's there is Democratic. They're kind of anti-Trump. So the odds of them just signing something right now, letting them go, and letting Trump look like he's the roses is slim to none. But I do think he's scheduled to go back to board in 27 or so, like 2028, 3 years. Listen, I believe he served his debt to society. You know, he's no Nelson Mandela. He's no freedom fighter. He's not in jail for being a freedom fighter. He's in jail for doing whatever he did. But whatever he did, the man got 50-something years, 25 plus in solitary confinement. Get a man a chance, man, that enjoying his last years being free with his kids, grandkids, great-grandkids, with his wife. His wife is still alive. But we'll see. All we could do is keep him in our prayers, and I do believe some more work needs to happen. I would love to see a petition go up, a fresh one. You know what I'm saying? I would love to see those people whose family have been affected by Mr. Hoover's movement of growth and development, whether it stopped your child or got your child out of something, right? Write those letters in. Somebody on Mr. Hoover's team need to create an email or something where people could send these letters in. So now they got things to present to the board when he does go up, because they're going to look at the other side of it, these families or whatever, the victim impact statements on this side, the 50-something years he's done, the last 20, 30 clean, whatever it may be, along with the petitions, along with these letters from these other people who his transition and help could maybe offset that. So that's what people need to do.
Okay. Everybody out there, do what he just said.
You gonna sign the petition?
It couldn't hurt. Sure, why not?
Was your father pardoned? They keep asking me this
Yes.
shit. There it goes, goddammit. I said, I knew he did 12 months in a day.
Yep.
They said something about your pops was cool with somebody on Bill Clinton.
He was cool with Clinton, yep.
With Clinton. So who pardoned him? Clinton?
Yep.
There it go. There it go.
There it is. Everybody wants to turn that into some devious thing.
No, it's not what you mean.
The connection.
NBA young boy just got pardoned. Harry O just got pardoned.
Harry O too?
Harry O got pardoned.
Really?
Yeah. So, what do you mean? So they keep asking me. I said, all I know is he did a year in a day for some fraud shit. I don't know. I'll ask him on the show. So there you go.
Michael sending me pictures of me with the penis gun to my head.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Shout out to R&B.
Yeah, sure.
Shout out to the Queen.
Thank you for the shout out to everybody who watched this. Please smash the like button. Enjoy your Sunday and tune in next
week.
week.
And the Big Back Honey Buns are probably going to show up. I'm telling you, save her some or she going to trip out. Watch yourself.
Whoa.
Save her some or she will trip out.
That's like the second time that happened. We got to be careful with
the
that.
Big Back Rap Snack Honey Buns. He told me he sent them. They're going to get here any day.
I'm trying to eat a honey bun off a Big Back's back in the near future.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
To beat it up while I'm snacking on a honey bun. A lot of people in the Reddit and stuff were posting pictures of the honey buns and crediting you and saying that they tried them. So,
and what did they say?
They said it was good.
They're crazy. They're good. And incredible diapers, only on Amazon.
Only available in the Congo. All right.
Amazon.
Wack 100, Adam 22. We are out. Smash that like button and tune in for more content. Bow.
Free Larry Hoover.